AI is moving faster than most people can do anything about. We're building the gas pedal before we build the brakes.
Hey, welcome back, weirdo. We're going to answer every question that's on every founder's mind right. Is AI a tool or a co-pilot? Will it make for building business? Will it make building a business easier? Or will it create a million new competitors overnight? My guest today is one of the few people qualified to answer that question. David, he's a serial builder. He's been a founder at 6 different startups and he has successfully sold 2 of them. Now he runs Qatalyst Labs. He runs Qatalyst Labs, a venture studio that doesn't just use AI, it builds AI companies from scratch. He's seen the hype, he's seen the reality, and now he's here to give us the truth on what it actually takes to launch and win in the age of AI. Get ready for a no BS conversation about the future of entrepreneurship. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to the conversation.
So just before we start the conversation, I'm going to start with one hard question. What's a truth that people in your industry do not want to admit?
AI is moving faster than most people can do anything about. We're building the gas pedal before we build the brakes. There are some reasons around it for the people who are inside. There's business justifications for it, but we'll start paying the price a little bit down the line.
Yeah, so that's the question of the era. Everybody keeps on saying we're going to have 10 years of hurt after all of this, just because we don't know what we're doing. So I do want to get first into your entrepreneurship. What was one of the biggest lessons you learned creating your startups?
I played multiple roles. I was initially founding engineer at a bunch of startups, then became a product person, which essentially figures out what problem are we solving? What is the business doing kind of thing. The biggest lessons are usually there's a fame and glory and story of the founderhood in startups, which we see in different places, and YC stories in beta kit in different places. While in reality, a lot of the building of a real company in a way that takes off is years and years of grunt work, hard work. And in the first few years, most people will not necessarily see the results and outcomes. And it's much harder than it seems. I've now worked with a lot of founder CEOs very closely for years and years. We don't talk much about how hard it is.
Is that a general consensus? Even just speaking from experience here, starting this up, I haven't seen the results everybody thinks that they get. I was gung-ho on those, I'm going to get results immediately type of deal. But I'm realizing that now I'm building something worthwhile more than those results. And it's hard work, but it doesn't seem like that. Is that the growing consensus with founders right now?
There are different flavors of both founders and the kinds of things that they do. Sometimes founders start something because it's their space, their industry, they have background in, and they just find an opportunity. They want to make the most of that opportunity. There's nothing intrinsically driving potentially. And I've seen those kinds of founders succeed as well, but it becomes really, really hard because now you're going through doing the same thing. Most of the founders that I work with could be making at least 3, 4, 5 times more money in the first 2, 3 years doing the exact same thing they do without the stress, without the 24/7 style and kind of thing. The reality is they still choose to do this. Some because they want to do this. You're doing this right now. I ask that question myself very often. Well, why? I have enough background. I could easily get another job that even I love with all the things that come with it, make a whole lot more money potentially. Now this is my second year with this. I am making more money than I would be otherwise. But the first 2 years, what's going on? And
so
that self-question is there, self-doubt potentially in the first little bit.
It seems like exactly what situation we're in. It's all pedal, no brakes at this point. Do you want to get, so this kind of transitions into your studio. What exactly do you do?
Great question. That was also something that I was figuring out before when I started. I've always wanted to help other founders start new companies. Before, even from my undergrad days, I was working with founders without knowing much about startups and what they are. I just stumbled into this, essentially working on hard problems with smart, dedicated people. That has been my theme, different angles. After the last company I was at as a VP of product and engineering that was acquired, I started exploring. So I had some time. I was not in a rush to make money or get another job or any of those things. I could just figure out what I want to do. What I want to do to help people who have ideas and ambitions to make them happen. Long story short, a year and a bit of back and forth and figuring it out, I landed on Essentially, my sweet spot has become serial entrepreneurs or founders of established businesses who want to bring software and AI for automation, for improvement, for a new channel, for scale. I help them build products.
I feel like we could work out a deal. I can showcase them. You could make the products out. Yeah, that's essentially, you found a great niche. I feel like that's what people need right now is just help. That's what AI has given to me. And I see that you work for AI in healthcare. How is that different from regular AI?
So AI in healthcare could mean different things, and specifically the project. So this is also similar to what I mentioned earlier. People in my circles, my friends know what I do to some extent. The specific project that we started working on, the product that we started working on, one of my friends had told her sister, who's a doctor, and this was a very specialized doctor. They had a problem that they didn't necessarily have much time. Expert surgeons don't have much time to go around and build a tech company because there's so many things going on. So we got in. The good thing with my background is I've built a lot of enterprise solutions over the years, and I have a sense of what they would need. I have a sense of how hospitals and hospitalists need to be able to technology. And we were able to kind of scope something out and get it out there. Depending on the depth of the data and involvement and patient engagement, the level of what's needed to put the product out there will be different. So that was also something that helped us go from initial conversation to product in the hands of seniors using this system in months, which is I had not heard of before. But that also involved me. We contained the problem. We contained the product that we built. And that was a lot of engineering beforehand.
I completely understand that. So a little bit of background on me. I used to work as a software engineer in the Ministry of Transportation. That's where I actually built my career. So I understand that getting software out and ready in months is actually unfathomable for a government entity. But good on us for actually taking that opportunity. And that does lead me into another question. Why Toronto? Why Canada? I feel like this company right now, I know Silicon Valley and the United States is basically swiping up every Canadian with a tech background that they can find. Why do you want to stay in Canada? Why are you in Canada?
That's a solid question. I've struggled with that question quite a lot. Quite a lot. The last company I was with were in US based. So after that, I came back to Canada. I'm a Canadian. I have my network, my family in Toronto, and I love Canada for a variety of reasons. Some of my customers now are in Canada, and some of them are in the Bay Area. I feel like Canada has a balance, what I call a balance, in terms of bringing technology and business, the bigger picture into a coherent, meaningful aspect. Having said that, I also know a lot of American companies, quite a few of the folks that I'm talking to right now are eager to get going and build things and move forward. Quite honestly, at this point, I'm looking at the mission more than the geography. If I can get behind what they're working on and believe in that or see alignment, I'm all for it.
Very fair. I said there's only a few things left in Canada that I like. I love Canada, don't get me wrong. And I'm on the rock. So I got beautiful scenery out in the middle of nowhere. I'm kind of insulated from a lot of that stuff, but I feel like I can work from anywhere. And if I have to, I will go elsewhere. But yeah, it's more for the mission. I just want to fix things. There's so much that needs to be fixed. I'm an idea guy. I could probably give you 50,000 ideas to run with, but I feel like that's not what we're here for.
That's actually one of the things I do is advising and coaching some founders early stage. And one of the things is you need to be having some kind of ideas. You need to be some sort of an idea guy to start something, but persevering through that doesn't come necessarily naturally and organically, which means you get tired of this thing that you're working on and then you get exhausted. And there's another idea that seems more appealing. So I've seen people want to jump around. The success comes from having the understanding or the wisdom to know whether I want to continue down this path and power through, or it's not going to work out and I want to change. And most founders probably change faster than they need to. Now, I don't know the story. We can talk about it in a separate conversation, but this is a theme and a pattern that I've seen quite a lot in the past few years that I work with founders.
Well, I'm ADHD, so very, very practical reason for why I jump around. Thankfully, with this, I get to speak with so many different people. It kind of satiates that need for change. I'm also very charismatic on video, which doesn't translate into real life. So it's really interesting when you meet me in person and they're like, hi, how are you? And then it's like me on camera is out there and outspoken. But yeah, I do understand that understanding what you're doing and what your core focus is very pivotal in building something. And that kind of actually goes into the super individual concept that you have. How can a solo entrepreneur really build a business with AI?
One thing I'll talk about, which you touched on, and I think it's more important to double click into, is that you're doing what you're doing now and doing the things that energize you, having the conversation, things that bring your energy up and make you excited and looking forward to do whatever you want to do. Entrepreneurship, in a way, many people think about it as in terms of financial gains, maybe prestige, maybe some of those things at the end of the journey, which is anywhere between 7 to 10 years, let's see. But in reality, the purpose of even that is to have freedom, to be able to do what I want to. And if you have freedom, what are you thinking about? And so in my case, if I have freedom, I would want to do exactly the same kinds of things that I'm doing right now. So going through different angles of multiple years and multiple steps to be able to do what I want to do kind of seemed backwards if I were to go down that path. So in your case, as we talk through this, okay, so why am I becoming an entrepreneur and what do I care about? To some extent, having that freedom becomes the ultimate goal. Now everybody has a different purpose. So something to think about. I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
Yeah.
Say it again and
I just talking about the super individual, how to properly, is it possible that a solo entrepreneur can be AI empowered to become an entire company?
Right. So now that takes to the question. I would say right now I'm using a lot of AI, different flavors of them. My favorite one, Claude Code. And the way I think we can achieve something greater than this is figuring out what the strengths are. What are the things that we're better at or good at and love doing, which means we can do it a lot longer than most other people, and which means we can do a lot better than most of the people. Along the way, use AI is just another technology. We used to call it software. Before that used to be information technology. Different. It's just another tool, if you think about it, that can do more than any other technology that existed could ever do.
Mhm.
So now, what are the things that I can work with it? In my case, I've built a lot of software over the years. I've built a lot of products, meaning business products, products that solve problems in education, in healthcare, HR, hiring, recruiting. That's my space. So I'm using AI to make what was a strength a superpower. And there are a lot of different ways. So the question is, what are you great at? Whoever's listening, what are you great at? What are you going to be even better at? How can you use AI to double tap on it? And if you have a business, if you have a moat, if you have something that people know you for, okay, so how can I do this better, faster, cheaper for more people?
Mhm.
That essentially automatically becomes a superpower and a super company or super individual.
Yeah, just to let the audience know, I use AI for everything. My copy, finding the information of my source. I have a full-on bio document of everything in your life here to just kind of see who you are. I edit my videos with AI. I said that already. I make music. And then I also set up a lot of things. So I have scheduled tasks. So it emails me when certain news comes out so that I can be on top of it. And just, I also have to read research papers. So I deep dive into research topics and have them build me papers to read. But these are just little things. You have to explore what you really like. That's the one thing I think people don't highlight enough is the exploration. How did you get started with AI?
Well, we've called
With
different things
so
AI over the years.
yeah, let's go to the vibe coded AI. When did you shift into vibing your processes?
It was sometime in 2024, just the early days of Cursor. Probably before that too, but it feels like so long ago that I don't necessarily remember now. But I started, I've been building software for over a decade now. Professional grade, enterprise grade, getting them to the hands of people, essentially making millions as a company for them. And that's what I was doing. And Explorer, just to a very good extent, which means if there's a new tool, new system that I can use to do things better, faster, cheaper, and more reliably, I'm going to try it out. I started with agentic development sometime in 2024. I don't know exactly the first time around. I've been using that to build, again, product systems for my customers, for myself, ever since, which is just about 2 years, maybe under 2 years now.
Do you think the level of development capability is now on par with the average user?
Yes. Short answer is yes. I would prefer, I think I would prefer an agentic developer Claude Code more than a lot of junior developers.
Mhm.
It goes back, it's a super powerful tool. It is a tool. And it doesn't have one way to use it, which means it can be used right, it can be used somewhat right, it can be used wrong. And in my case, in the past 2 years, it's not that I kind of found the way, but I've experimented a lot with what can work for the things that we want to build and gotten to a point where I can get a lot from Claude Code than I can get from an average developer.
Mm. Fair. I gave up my developer hat a couple of years ago, or actually when I started this, I gave up my developer hat because I looked at this and said, I'm not this good. I'm a decent developer, but I'm not this good. So I just was said, you know what? I'll build what I need to build with the vibes now. I'll go from there. Although I do have to say, anybody out there who still thinks or is on the fence about learning to code, highly recommend it, because even those who understand AI still get it wrong, and we'll still need to pick up the problem areas to be able to fix those. So coding is still a very valuable skill.
One
Do you
thing I'll
agree with
throw in
that?
there, one thing
Yeah.
I'll throw in there is we've, over the past 60 years, give or take from the 60s, we've gone up in the level of abstraction of the code that we write. So I never saw punch cards. Apparently they were a thing. My professors told us about them. And then assembly language and going up and up and up and up until we got to before Gen AI or LLMs, we had high level languages, TypeScript, a lot of the ones that exist today. Now, we kind of leveled up in terms of abstraction. Nobody needs to know zeros and ones or assembly language. I learned a little bit of it. But as I build now, it matters a lot more understanding software architecture and software engineering. Not necessarily syntax or code or the details or specifics, but understanding what is the thing that I want the software to do, whether it's agentic, whether it's AI powered, or whether it's pure traditional software, and being able to figure out the most optimal being an engineer, somewhat an engineering term, it could be fastest and more scalable or the different flavor, more secure, whatever the need might be to build this. So I would say software engineering or maybe product engineering and understanding how products are built is going to be an invaluable skill to learn. Whether you use Python or TypeScript, most of the time doesn't necessarily matter much for most of the things that maybe your audience would want to work on or majority of people would want to do.
At the very least, they're not going to have to handwrite HTML out on a sheet of paper as an exam and not have to worry about those types of things. I always said I was language agnostic when it came to language or when it came to programming, because I understood how the logic worked more than anything else. And that logic understanding was how I build everything now. What's something you worry about with entrepreneurs using AI?
The biggest thing probably the simplification and extreme optimism of the thing that I can vibe something and have a first $1 million coming out. And that optimism leads to not being diligent enough or clear enough, doing the work that it needs to build a proper system and software, being bitten by the mistake that they can make, which means they're going to learn later, which means they're going to grow slower. So that's one side for the people who try. And the other thing might be the other side of it exactly. Is they've been bitten once or twice by somebody by a consultant who sold them something or a demo or something that didn't deliver the result, or they failed in their first try. They don't try, they fall behind. The figuring out where the balance is for that person would be really important and essential.
You worry about people not keeping up?
I think about it. Worries, I think about it in a sense that I think, yes, technology is going to be getting better and better than a lot of people. And if we don't upskill folks, it may become harder as a society because it's a bit of a bigger picture thing. But as a society, we've had people work and produce. It used to be muscles, the industrial age, and doing the work, physical labor became knowledge work. And now knowledge work is becoming a little bit more commoditized using the Gen AI tools that we have. Then how is the society going to evolve with this? And that's something I think about quite a lot. And one of the themes of the things that drives me is, okay, how can I use AI to help others and enable? which is what we started with coming full circle, and entrepreneurs, engineers being the people that I'm working with a lot more closely these days.
It's one of the reasons I moved out to the middle of nowhere, because tourism is going to be big business. There's no tech out here. People are still on Facebook, no websites, basic technologies. Yeah, I just want to build it all for them. And I'm slowly working with various organizations to build out the tech needed on the island. But yeah, I think it's a good place for digital entrepreneurs to come out. At least you get space. And you have
Yeah.
internet anywhere nowadays.
Yeah. And you have opportunities. I had a nomadic period and there were folks from all over the world traveling, doing the work and all those things. This was an opportunity that didn't exist before COVID. And after COVID, it became a lot easier. Well, it did exist, but not to the scale. And now it became so. Now, in your case, you're looking at where you are. Okay, so how can this world be better in a way that people around me want and are willing to pay for? And you're making the most of that. And you're doing something that makes you happy and in a place where you feel you belong and helping those around you. That's entrepreneurship. It doesn't need to be a unicorn funded by Sequoia for it to be called entrepreneurship. And before we had VC backed ventures, we've had a lot of ventures over the years. This is just as good, if not better.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. I'm really looking forward to optimizing a lot of crap out here, because it's weird. Half the island doesn't even have internet because of the way it's shaped, but it's fun to really envision the way it can be. And in 10 years, with the amount of investment out here, I'm excited to see what's next. So I do want to ask, just as we're ending up or finishing up here, what's one piece of advice you can offer the audience?
Two things I would figure out, ask myself is what's the biggest problem or opportunity that I'm dealing with or the people I care about really? Then sitting down and chatting with Claude or maybe Gemini. They're competitors of ChatGPT if you don't know.
Stay away from ChatGPT for everybody listening.
Partnering with it. Don't think of it as a competitor. Don't think of it as a tool. Think of it as, to some extent, a partner we can think through. And start small. A lot of times it seems, you know what, I can do a lot of things with AI. Oh, I built this big app. So no, start small. See one small thing so you have a sense of progress. And hopefully that will get you to take the next step and the next step and the next.
The golden nugget for software developers out there. You got to find your golden nugget. So where can people reach you to ask you more questions? What's going on in your future? Let my audience know.
I'm active on LinkedIn. I can share with you afterwards. For the most part, I am involved with all kinds of projects that come my way in enabling businesses to do better. And I'm mostly focused on helping people learn engineering and entrepreneurship these days, working on a platform for this, and hopefully we'll have something live. And that has been something that has been a theme for the past so many years of my life.
Fair enough. And I'll make sure all of your information is the comments below. And to everybody out there, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And till next time, stay weird.
Thank you.